morning. Welcome to the podcast on Smash USA. It's a pleasure to be here today. I am Manuela. You already know me. And today we're going to have a special guest, right?
Hello. I'm Giovanna. You can call me G, and I'm so excited to our podcast episode today with a special guest that Thiago will be introduced to of us.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Thiago. Our guest today is Bijan Golshani. Bijan is the founder of Atlanta Spanish Immersion, or AC, which is a platform with a headquarters here in Atlanta, Georgia, that creates a Spanish immersion experiences digitally, locally, and through immersion trips to Spanish-speaking countries in Latin America and Spain. Prior to starting Atlanta Spanish Immersion, he was the account executive at 2 different tech companies and also taught Spanish for a year at the Metro Atlanta High School. Welcome, Bijani.
Bienvenido.
Gracias. No, thank you for having me, guys. It's an honor. This is my first podcast, so I hope I do well. So it's a little exciting to finally be able to talk to you guys.
So Bijan, tell us about how did you find your purpose with Latin America? How did you find how you connect with the Spanish culture and the Latin culture? Tell us about.
Yeah, so it's it goes way back, but disclosure, I'm Iranian. My parents are from Iran. I'm not Latino, but growing up in Roswell, like in a suburb in Atlanta, there was a lot of diversity there, and I gravitated to a lot of kids that were first generation or were recently from another country. And I think there was some level of comfort there, and I had friends that spoke Spanish, and I remember in 7th grade I wanted to learn Spanish, so I enrolled in Spanish class with the goal to learn the language. But I guess in school, unfortunately, a lot of times you're just trying to get an A or just trying to pass the class, and then you're not able to really get the opportunities to practice speaking, which through high school and then even college, as I majored in Spanish, that was always my goal, to become fluent. And even at a big university school here in Georgia, where I went to after getting close to graduating, I really felt that I had a lot to learn to really call myself fluent, or to be able to speak at ease in any kind of situation. And so that's really what made me kind of embark on this journey to really, I guess, connect with the Latino culture, in the sense of where I studied abroad was in Buenos Aires, and I was able to move back there after studying abroad for 3 months to live and work down there, and really connect with not just Argentinians, but people from all over Latin America that are living in Buenos Aires.
Bijan, your stories are really great. And one thing that are really important for us, and special at the Gimbal, are the purpose-driven entrepreneurs and startups, right? I know that AC, an addiction to teach Spanish, also has objective of spreading culture, and more specifically in the Latino culture in the American market. Can you share with some your strategy you adopt to the ed culture component, in addition to the language education and value proposition?
Yeah, it's been changing over the years. So to kind of give you when ASI or ASI started in 2020, I was I always in the back of my head wanted to do something with Spanish, and with the pandemic, online one-on-one classes was the easiest way to get started. And as it's kind of grown and seeing what's the best way to help our students improve their Spanish, there's a thing that I saw here in Atlanta, that giving our students, who all of our students live in Atlanta, they're 99% are here in Atlanta, so it's how do we connect them with the Latino culture, or specifically the Hispanic culture here in Atlanta, for them to connect, learn the nuances of people's backgrounds that you can't always learn just learning a language. I'm sure Thiago, and as well for your team here, that when you've been able to be in another country, you learn a lot about how people interact with one another, things that you don't always can learn in just speaking to somebody online. So we're really wanting to give people the opportunity to connect in person at essentially language exchanges, are also doing volunteer opportunities with organizations that will also give our students the ability to connect in Spanish as well. So that's a little bit more of the I guess the purpose of why we're called Atlanta Spanish, and wanting to connect our students to the Hispanic community here in the city.
The
Awesome.
environment, right? I think when we're talking about languages, we are learning. Like, I am from Brazil, Giovanna is from Brazil, Tiago is from Brazil, but he have a more time United States, so he's able right now to be like even I tell you are American, you are acting like American, but even when you live here, but you are from other country, other culture, like it's different when you are inside the environment. And I think
100%.
when you tell that, like, you put the students inside the communities, like they have the experience, they can learn. Ellos pueden hablar español juntos con la gente que vino de allá. O sea, yo creo que I think that Spanish, it's like the maternal language for all the Latin America. We talk in Portuguese because we're from Brazil, but the Spanish is like the one that it's more in more countries. A lot of story in the background, like it's a big background that they have when they're learning about all the cultures, about the difference between the countries, like Argentina, like Colombia, Guatemala, Mexico. It's a lot of countries that they're really different. They all talk in Spanish, but they're really different. So I think
big
this
difference,
yeah, so it's amazing. It's amazing to have some project like that you can bring Latin America for United States. Thank you for sharing with us.
And then one question that I have that, because I do feel like when you travel abroad and you go to other countries and exposed to other cultures, it really opens your mind about kind of different ways of living life, different vision of the world. You mentioned that a part of what you have is actually you set up trips for Latin America and Spain for the communities and groups that you built in order to experience the culture. Because one thing is being here, and I've been here 17 years. I'm fully Brazilian, but she's telling like I look like an American sometimes, which I don't agree with that. But after being so long away from the country, it's a different thing. So bringing them on sites to somewhere in Latin America or kind of Spain, it must especially at a younger age or any age, just really opens your mind to see there's a world out there. So can you talk a little bit about that kind of program that you have?
Yeah, and I think this is I totally agree. I think you have to go to whatever language you're trying to learn. I think spending, I mean, and you can do it here. I met a Costa Rican guy like 6 months ago. He said he learned Portuguese because he worked at a Brazilian bakery, So, I mean, his world in Atlanta is with Brazilians. So, like, it's possible to do it here too, but not everybody has that. Not everybody can, stop working and just do their whole life in another country. So, and most of our students are adults that are working, have families, other responsibilities. And so, and the one-on-one classes are great. They do help. But just like anything, like if you go to the gym once a week or twice a week, you'll improve a little bit, but you still need to be doing something outside of that. And just with language, it's a very complex skill. Getting fluent and being able to speak. I mean, you guys know, being all bilingual or trilingual with Spanish here. And so it's like, you have to practice it a lot in a lot of different situations. And so that's the goal with our immersion trips, to essentially expose our students to, live or to experience 8 to 10 days in a Spanish speaking country, our adult students, where they can do a homestay, take language classes 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the morning, do some cultural activities and excursions in the afternoon, and to really give them a taste of they can, travel, and as well experience, the Spanish speaking world by themselves. Like, the goal would eventually be where they can feel comfortable to do it on their own. And so I'm excited. Our first trip is next month. We're going to Granada in España. And so it's really cool to see the good response, or like the positive feedback that this is something that our students want. They want to be able to go and explore And as well, in March of next year, we're going to be taking a group to Buenos Aires in Argentina to have them experience, kind of a little bit of the porteño culture. And then as well, most of our teachers are in Buenos Aires. And so to have them meet our teachers and experience the city with them would be really beautiful to experience. And so that's an exciting, I guess, third part of the school, is to provide these opportunities for our students so that they can, go with people in Atlanta, but then also have their own experiences while they're down there based on, when after our classes, they're able to go into the city and do different activities that hopefully can help them connect to the place that we're at.
Awesome. Bijan, changing a little bit of the topic, if I can, because a part of what we like to do in addition to the purpose, and I think it's clear what the purpose, where you're coming from and what you're trying to do. We also try to talk about the entrepreneurship journey, because I think it's very unique for every person. There is no kind of one way of doing this. And one is in a different way, in the sense that you started as C while you also had a full-time job. And then you did both at the same time until you felt comfortable enough, or destiny or the world kind of drove in a direction to make that transition to full-time. Can you describe a little bit about that process and what made you decide to go on separate parallel ways, full-time job, and then decided to go full-time into ASI?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time we have, but essentially starting out, I think, I came back to the States in 2017, taught Spanish for 1 year at Lakeside High School in DeKalb County, and essentially it was a great experience, but I didn't think it was what I wanted to do long term, and was fortunate to get essentially a business development representative job where you essentially do prospecting, and I was doing it for a marketing agency that's specifically worked with e-commerce companies on Shopify. And yeah, essentially I was calling in on companies that, they would sell online. This is back in like 2018, 2019. And then when the COVID happened, Shopify really exploded. There was a big increase for online buying. But I think that experience working there kind of got me to think, why not try to make a website to connect people in Atlanta to kind of, for myself, just to kind of learn what kind of like online, like how to run an online business, essentially, is kind of what I was thinking. And then I thought it would also help me in my main job of, talking to business owners who we would try to sell them, anything to do with like your website, landing pages, driving traffic to your site, SEO, email marketing. And so I thought doing my own business at the same time while working at Pirate Labs was the name of the agency, would be a great experience for me, just to kind of learn more about e-commerce and how to drive a successful online company. And so essentially I think through the pandemic it kind of picked up in the sense of just a word of mouth, emailing old teachers, and then from there, seeing a little bit of traction of parents who wanted tutoring for their kids, and as well for adults who just would find us on the local search for Google Business. We have presence there. And so I think, no, I was not like by no means ready in 2020 to go full time with the business, but I started, I guess, once I got serious about my website and serious about just trying to create a little bit more of a professional presence. That's when I think I started seeing more success with like new business coming in. And and that was kind of while I still had a job, so it was really difficult to be full time in the job and to give my full attention to what I was doing there. But I was fortunate. I had a little bit of freedom while I was working at a full time. So I think I was able to spend a good bit of time on ASI or ASI. And then and I think, I don't know, when to go full time, it was funny you said, like, sometimes it's like you have no choice, and then you know then you are like, you make that decision, you go all in. I think for myself, it was, I first saw it just as a side hustle, or a thing to do on the side, um I wanted to grow kind of in corporate, to be honest. I wanted to go to a good company and grow within, like, and climb the ladder, I guess, as a sales professional. That was something that I saw a lot of my friends do, and I was looking to do that as well. But I think, fortunately, I guess, looking back now, it's yeah, I went to a company after working at Pirate Labs in 2022. I was there for like about 8 months, and they essentially like laid off the rest, like the 50% of the sales team in December of last year, and then a lot, I guess, during this year as well. But essentially, that was kind of the writing on the wall for me, of like, I knew it, like the layoffs were coming, and I wanted to just kind of evaluate, do I want to like try another job, or do I want to just go full time on ASI? And I had a buddy who told me, even before I started at this new company in 2022, back in like March, April of 2022, is like, hey, dude, you have nothing to, like, the worst case scenario, you'll be back where you started, but with a lot more experience and knowledge. And so I should have listened to him. Ravi, if you're watching, I should have listened to you, saying it on air. But, and I've told him this too, but just because, like, once you're able to go full time, and even though, if like from like a monetary perspective, or like a revenue perspective, even if you're not making as much as you were, if you're able to, you're spending all your energy now on the business. And I think just like you start looking at it in such different angles of how to give your customers the best experience, how to improve just different details that can streamline processes and or processes, and to eventually grow. And so I think now it's almost been, like, knock on wood, it's been, I guess, September now, so almost a year since I've been full time, and it's been really, really amazing. Just in the sense of having a little bit more freedom with my schedule, but being able to dedicate the best hours of my day to enhance and to grow the school. And so, and I think it's something that I love. I love being around, like, the Hispanic culture, and I gravitated towards a lot. And so I think it's been finding that kind of that niche of what I want to do for a living. And I think this, I believe this is it with with SC, to continue to to grow the like kind of the community that we're trying to build here in Atlanta.
Yeah, always you're learning, right? Like when you are the owner, you are owner of your idea, and you depend on that. It's like you do not have a way back. You do not have the bridge anymore. So you need to go ahead and say, and if you do not have somebody to help you, you will do by yourself. So you have a lot of skills. Like you didn't know that it is possible to do that by yourself, but I think it's a journey that you can grow a lot. Like. And also, when you have a purpose, when you feel that your purpose, it's driving you like the way that you want to be. And I think when you talk about the Spanish culture, that's amazing for the parents, that they have somebody helping them to keep this like amazing culture inside the United States. So you help them to teach their babies, like their sons, about everything, and talk with them in Spanish, because in the United States, even if you have a parents from somebody else, like some other place, they do not know how to talk the maternal language. And that's the thing. Like for me, for example, I have two babies, and I'm trying to teach them Portuguese and also Spanish. So on our house, like one is 3 years and the other one in 1.5, and they are talking in 3 languages. They have some words that they can talk in Portuguese, and also in Spanish, and also in English. And I'm really glad that they're talking, like they're starting trilingual. Like that's amazing. That's a good thing.
And
best way to start them too.
And what I love about your story, thank you for sharing it, because I think sometimes we choose our destiny, but a lot of times our destiny chooses us. Like we kind of have a direction, and for some reason we can't choose differently, and you're pushing to kind of focus on your own business. And the second thing, which I have found as well, because I had a corporate career before for many years, for 20 years before becoming an entrepreneur, is kind of how the amazing the difference is. Part of what you're saying, you are wearing all hats, so you have to do everything, so it expands and grows you in so many different ways. But most important, I think what you mentioned there is the purpose part. They say that you find a job that you love, then you don't have to work in any other day of your life. In entrepreneur, if it's not feeling that way, like you're doing something wrong in the sense, because even though you have stressful and tough times, which you all have, that's the path you're choosing. Hopefully you're waking up every day in the morning saying, I will choose to do this again over and over and over because I just love what I'm doing. And that's what it should be. So congratulations, and thank you for sharing a little bit of your path on that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it's interesting because I mean, it's I'm sure for everybody who's here, you know, it's like a battle within yourself almost. You know, there's days that it's tough and that like it's like, gosh, like, am I making the right choice? You know, and
multiple days.
yeah, and I think I don't know. That's something that I'm trying to get better at. I think just, you know, having your why really like at the core of what you're doing, and really, you know, you have to believe it. You have to really believe that you're solving somebody's problem, right? You're helping in some way. And I think that's, you know, what anybody starts anything is, you know, you see a lack of something or, you know, something that needs to maybe be improved. And so I don't know, like for you guys, is it something that, is it very easy to, or like what helps you stay grounded to keep going, I guess, for in your entrepreneurial journey as well? Like, is there?
Yeah, I think when you have a big purpose and you can see the little miracles on your way, and that keep you like always you have a problem, always you have something to deal with, and if you do not take a time to see the little miracles in your journey, you're gonna give up. So I think for me, when I start to look at the little miracles, like simple things, like connections, like new partnerships, like people that are in front of you and they like your purpose, they get all in with you. I think, and also a team, right? I think here in also in On Smash and Gimbal, we have a Giovanna and also a Thiago, and they are like the thing that. When I'm feeling like down, I talk with them and I will, oh, let's go, guys. Let's go. Let's do that together because they are like the strange. So I think for me is that.
I would agree with just if I can 10 seconds here, I would agree with the team part. I think you're a solo entrepreneur, that's much harder when you have a team around. Like when you don't have a good day, hopefully one of your teams is gonna have a good day to kind of push you through. And then but the other thing is like on my side is like because I had there are two things there. I had a previous corporate career for 20 years. It was a great career. I enjoyed, I have fun. I have that to compare. While I do every day, I would choose every day what I'm doing compared to that corporate career. And the second thing is I met a guy that went my MBA with me, and he right when we were doing the MBA, he joined a startup. The startup was very successful, and he made a lot of money. And he's like a 40 something, and he's relaxed, like he's financially safe.
Yeah.
But I could feel like he's saying, okay, what's next? Because what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna travel for a year, and then what else I'm gonna do in my life? I'm still young, I still have the energy, and he's trying to figure out. So that gave me the sense like what I'm going through now, which is not reaching the exit. This is it. This is it's not that's the prize. The prize is living every day and building something, connecting with people, and being purposeful, and waking up in the morning. So even the tough days, I try to remember that, like, hey, I would choose this, and this is great. I want to get to the finish line, but the finish line, the main thing is this, it's not the finish line. I think I try to keep that very active in my mind every day through the tough times.
Like, yeah, what you're doing today is what's really, is the prize in the sense of
it is the
creating authentic relationships.
Exactly.
And connecting with others, and and it's stimulating work too. It's enjoyable work.
As a entrepreneur, we need to see these steps and understand these steps, the progress, but you need to see the future, and we need to trust the future because when I saw our business in 5 or 10 years, that's the purpose that we can still keep working and do the things every single day. Bijan, talking more about the future, about the AC, and what's your vision in the 5 or 10 years?
Yeah. So I think a dream, I've told a couple people this. I think having some kind of like Latin cultural center in the like somewhere off like the Beltline area in Atlanta, I think that would be I think something to have people to come connect, where we also have Hispanic business owners like who have a coffee shop or restaurant inside this cultural center. You could do the arts, like learn like different like music or dances here in this center as well, and also have language classes for students to come off the Beltline and to kind of give Giovanna an example of the Beltline. I don't know if have you got Tiago, have you told her about the Beltline at all?
Yeah.
They've been there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you
there.
guys have been, okay, perfect. Yeah. So it's essentially, a big sidewalk in the city that connects a lot of neighborhoods. And I think having it somewhere that's very accessible for people who are living off of there to come connect and as well learn about the different, the immense culture of like of the Hispanic world, I think would be really cool to have kind of in the heart of Atlanta, but while also having like, Hispanic owned businesses on there too. So I think that could be a really cool in-person place to have people connect, but then host events and just do different activities, not just with language, but obviously just connecting people. And I think through that, people will learn about culture, and then through food and as well coffee or other kind of mediums too. So that's kind of the goal, and like that would be a dream
I love the vision. I love the vision how the world works.
Yeah.
Like you have like an American with a Iranian heritage expanding the Hispanic culture in Atlanta.
That's United States.
That's the universe.
United States. Like
yeah,
we're
so,
business together.
But I think that's one. And then the other dream, like, so we work with high schools, and we're in Forsyth County in Cumming, Georgia, like where we work with Forsyth Central. We've been with them for 3 years, where we supplement the essentially like the lessons and curriculum of the main teacher through essentially one-on-one conversational practice sessions, where one of our teachers will connect with the student learning Spanish at the AP or honors level, or here as a high schooler. And so it's really kind of giving the student opportunities to practice for 15 or 30 minutes weekly or monthly with one of our teachers. And the problem with a lot of the teachers, they have 20 to 30 students in one class. They're not able to practice speaking with every single student on a daily basis. And with language, the students need to be practicing, constantly to gain that confidence to feel like they're competent, or if they would want to work in the language and work in Spanish somewhere. They need a lot of practice. And sometimes just getting a 4 or 5, which is like, a passing grade on the national exam, is not enough to really, get to that advanced high or advanced medium proficiency level. So that's a big goal for these next couple of years too, is to expand the partnerships with, local Metro Atlanta high schools, where we can come alongside and partner with these teachers and supplement their curriculum. So those are the 2 main ones.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you, Bijan. It was like a really great conversation. I hope you can achieve all of your goals. And we're here. If we can help in something, let us know. Thank you for being part of the podcast on Smash USA. I think everybody that is listening, they will love to connect with you. And, you can see over there, you are listening over there in YouTube or on Spotify. You can connect with Bijan. We're gonna tag him. Thank you very much. It was like an amazing day for us. Thank you for sharing your journey, your experience, and I think your project will go through really good. We love it.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Yes.
Thank you, folks.
Awesome.
Thank you, everybody, for being with us. and more episode. You see, on next week, every Thursday, 11 a.m. And we say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.